Monday again. And what do we have here? 1,700 complaints. About sunscreen. 1,700. You know, in my 800 years at this desk, I've never seen vampires so desperate to get a tan. Very well, if you don't want to end up as a pile of designer ashes, especially after you hear Article 13, then listen carefully. The United Realm of Shadows, Ministry of Sleep, Bureau of Nocturnal Affairs, Directive Number 733, MOS, VSR. Good evening. Tonight's reading is drawn from the legislative archives of the Supreme Vampire Council, dated the 13th of Blood Moon, year 1847, of the Shadow Calendar. This document has been reviewed and certified by the Subcommittee on Matters Nobody Asked About and stamped with the official seal of the Department of Tedious Regulations. Please note that falling asleep during this reading is not considered disrespectful. In fact, it is the intended outcome. We shall now begin. Part 1. Legal Basis and Purpose. Article 1. Scope of Application. This directive establishes the regulatory framework governing the acquisition, possession, application, distribution, gifting, inheritance, and casual sniffing of sunscreen products by members of the vampire community across all territories under the jurisdiction of the United Realm of Shadows. This includes, but is not limited to, registered dominions, disputed borderlands currently under negotiation with the Werewolf Confederation, neutral zones administered by the Witches' Guild, and that one weird area near the swamp that nobody wants to claim, but someone has to regulate anyway. This directive does not apply to vampire hybrids, unless the vampire component constitutes 50% or more of their genetic makeup, as determined by a certified blood heritage assessment conducted at an approved facility. In cases where the percentage is exactly 50%, the individual must flip a commemorative coin in the presence of a notary public to determine which set of regulations applies to them. Article 2. Persons subject to this directive. This directive applies to the following categories of individuals. All vampires duly registered with the Bureau of Immortal Residents, including those who have been technically dead for tax purposes, but continue to file complaints about parking. Unregistered vampires exhibiting clear indicators of vampiric status, including but not limited to adverse reactions to garlic bread, absence of reflection in mirrors, and a documented history of dramatically entering rooms while wearing a cape. Relatives of vampires, including spouses, domestic partners, children, and individuals who have been dating a vampire for more than 6 months without realizing it. This last category will be notified of their partner's status via certified mail once this directive takes effect. The Ministry accepts no responsibility for resulting relationship complications. Thralls, familiars, and anyone who has ever said, "I would die for him," about a vampire, and meant it a little too literally. Article 3. Definitions. For the purposes of this directive, the following terms shall be understood as follows. Sunscreen refers to any topical preparation, cream, lotion, spray, gel, mousse, butter, or mysterious paste, capable of reducing, delaying, or marginally postponing the combustion of vampire skin upon exposure to ultraviolet radiation. This definition includes products marketed as day cream with SPF, tinted moisturizer, and beach-ready protection, regardless of whether any vampire should reasonably be beach-ready. Combustion refers to the chemical process by which vampire epidermis oxidizes rapidly upon contact with sunlight, producing heat, flame, smoke, and a distinctive aroma that witnesses have described as barbecue with notes of regret. Combustion severity is classified on a 5-point scale: light smoke, moderate smoke, smoldering, active burning, and, oh no, he's gone. SPF stands for sun protection factor, though within the vampire community it is colloquially known as survival period forecast. An SPF of 30 indicates that the user has approximately 30 additional minutes before they begin to smell themselves cooking. The Supreme Council refers to the highest governing authority of the vampire community, consisting of 13 members, all over 500 years of age, and all deeply suspicious of anything invented after the printing press. The Council's most recent meeting lasted 47 years, due to a disagreement about semicolon placement in the previous directive. Daytime refers to the period between sunrise and sunset, also known as the forbidden hours, the bright unpleasantness, or that time when sensible people are sleeping. Part 2. Prohibited Activities. Article 4. General Prohibitions. The use of sunscreen for the purpose of participating in daytime activities in a public, shameless, or enthusiastic manner is strictly prohibited. Specifically, the following activities are forbidden. Firstly, sunbathing at beaches, pools, lakes, rivers, or any other body of water where humans congregate to voluntarily expose themselves to radiation. This prohibition applies with particular emphasis to popular tourist destinations, including but not limited to Miami Beach, the French Riviera, Cancun, Ibiza, and anywhere in Australia. Exceptions may be considered only if the vampire in question wears sunglasses covering at least 99% of their face, a full-length hooded cloak, and maintains a continuous mumbling of, "I have a rare skin condition," when approached by concerned beachgoers. Secondly, attending outdoor brunch. The Council wishes to remind all vampires that brunch is a daytime meal invented specifically to exclude us, and attempting to participate is both dangerous and socially desperate. The combination of direct sunlight, mimosas, and exposed neck veins creates an unacceptable risk environment. Thirdly, waiting in line for coffee during peak morning hours. This activity poses multiple hazards, including sun exposure during the wait, the risk of spontaneous combustion while holding a paper cup, smoke triggering the cafe's fire alarm, and the profound existential despair of realizing that you cannot actually metabolize caffeine. Fourthly, attending outdoor weddings. This prohibition stands regardless of familial obligation, friendship duration, or how many times the couple insists that the ceremony will be short. Outdoor weddings are never short. The Council has documented 7 cases of vampires turning to ash during the vows alone. Fifthly, participating in any outdoor sporting event, whether as athlete or spectator. This includes marathons, tennis matches, golf tournaments, and especially beach volleyball, which the Council considers a personal attack on our community. Article 5. Special prohibition regarding the Twilight incident. The use of sunscreen mixed with glitter, shimmer powder, body highlighter, or any reflective particulate matter for the purpose of recreating scenes from the controversial historical dramatization known as Twilight is absolutely and categorically forbidden. The Supreme Council, after 73 closed sessions and 2 physical altercations, has reached unanimous agreement that the depiction of vampires as sparkling in sunlight constitutes a grievous insult to the legacy of Count Dracula and all distinguished ancestors who had the decency to burst into flames like proper vampires. A violation of municipal light pollution ordinances, as a glittering vampire has been shown to create hazardous glare conditions for motorists. A fundamental misrepresentation of vampire physiology. The Council wishes to state for the record, real vampires exposed to sunlight combust. We do not twinkle. We do not shimmer. We ignite. There is a significant difference. Any vampire found recreating the meadow scene will have their Creature of the Night certification revoked and be required to introduce themselves as Edward at all social functions for the next century. Article 6. Prohibition on stockpiling. The storage of sunscreen in quantities exceeding 500 milliliters within a single coffin, crypt, basement apartment, or converted church is prohibited without special authorization. Vampires requiring larger quantities for approved research purposes must submit Form 666-SPF to the Office of Suspicious Substances, located in sub-basement 9 of the Ministry building, behind the filing cabinets, through the door that looks like a wall. Provide detailed justification for the requested quantity. Please note, just in case is not an acceptable justification. Neither is, I'm planning a vacation. We know you're not planning a vacation. You've been saying that since 1847. Consent to unannounced inspections at any hour, including daylight hours, which should not be a problem since you should be asleep anyway. But the inspector will still knock very loudly. Part 3. Exemptions and special permissions. Article 7. Family obligation exemptions. Vampires may use a limited quantity of sunscreen, not exceeding 5 milliliters, in cases of unavoidable family emergencies involving human relatives. Case 1. Being compelled by a human mother-in-law to attend a parent-teacher conference at 10 o'clock in the morning. Requirements. Original conference invitation letter. Written confirmation from the school principal that rescheduling to evening hours is impossible, and a signed pledge not to bear fangs at the homeroom teacher, regardless of what they say about your child's socialization issues. Case 2. Attending a human relative's outdoor wedding because it would break grandmother's heart if you didn't come. Requirements. Wedding invitation. Confirmation of seating in the back row near an exit, and agreement to leave immediately after the ring exchange, without staying for the reception, no matter how good the prime rib looks. Case 3. picking up a child from summer camp at noon, because that's when pickup is. Requirements: camp registration documents, proof that the camp refuses to accommodate alternative pickup times, and a backup plan involving a large umbrella, a hat, and running very fast to the car. Case 4. Attending a funeral that the deceased specifically requested be held. In the sunshine because he loved the sun. Requirements: death certificate, funeral invitation, and a note from a licensed therapist confirming that the emotional damage of missing the funeral would exceed the physical damage of attending it. Article 8. Medical exemptions. Vampires may use sunscreen upon prescription from a licensed nocturnal physician, subject to the following conditions. The prescription must be written in red ink on parchment, bearing the physician's signature, official seal, and a small drawing of a bat for authenticity verification purposes. Valid medical justifications include chronic blood deficiency resulting in impaired regeneration after sun damage, allergy to darkness, a rare but documented condition, and psychological disorders causing the patient to believe they are a living human. Prescriptions are valid for 30 days and must be renewed in person, as the physician needs to visually confirm the patient has not already been reduced to ash. Article 9. Flavor-based exemptions. Vampires may possess and use sunscreen products if said products are flavored with approved substances from the following list: Type O blood flavor, bovine plasma flavor, iron supplement flavor, rare steak flavor, medium rare also acceptable. These products are classified as disguised food items rather than sun protection, and their use is therefore not regulated under this directive. The fact that a vampire might lick their own arm in public is unusual, but not illegal. Products flavored with coconut, tropical breeze, ocean mist, or endless summer are explicitly excluded from this exemption and remain prohibited, as they create the false impression that vampires enjoy summer. We do not. Part 4. Penalties and enforcement. Article 10. Principles of enforcement. The enforcement of violations under this directive shall adhere to the following principles. All violations shall be addressed with fairness, consistency, and an appropriate degree of theatrical disappointment. Penalties shall be proportionate to the severity of the offense, the quantity of sunscreen involved, the number of witnesses traumatized, and whether the violator showed remorse or attempted to argue that it was only a little sun. Violators have the right to appeal within 30 days. Appeals are processed in order of receipt, which currently means a waiting period of approximately 40 to 60 years. Article 11. First offense penalties. Vampires found in violation of this directive for the first time shall be subject to the following penalties: confiscation of all sunscreen products in their possession, mandatory attendance at a 3-night seminar titled Embracing the Darkness, Finding Your Authentic Nocturnal Self, 24 hours of supervised viewing of daytime television programming under low-intensity UV lighting. This penalty serves both punitive and educational purposes. As daytime television represents the tedious reality of daytime existence. A formal letter of disappointment from the Council written in the passive-aggressive style perfected over 8 centuries of bureaucratic correspondence. Article 12. Second offense penalties. Vampires found in violation of this directive for the second time shall be subject to the following penalties. All penalties applicable to first offenses. Public listing on the Registry of Daytime Sympathizers, displayed in the lobby of the Ministry building where everyone can see it. 6 months of exile to a remote location, in the company of a retired vampire hunter who has developed amnesia and an unfortunate compulsion to repeatedly tell the same 3 jokes. The hunter will not remember that they used to hunt vampires and will attempt to befriend the exile, which has been described by previous offenders as somehow worse than staking. Mandatory installation of blackout curtains monitored by the Bureau, which will send inspectors to ensure the curtains remain closed during daylight hours. Article 13. Severe violation penalties. In cases of severe violations, specifically the act of sparkling in the public in the manner depicted in Twilight, the following penalties shall apply. Permanent revocation of all titles, including Lord of Darkness, Prince of the Night, Countess of Shadows, and any similar honorifics. Demotion to the rank of probationary mosquito-eating bat intern for a period of no less than 50 years. During this period, the offender may only consume insect blood, may not wear capes of any kind, and must sleep hanging upside down rather than in a coffin. Removal from the family lineage registry. The offender's name will be crossed out with black ink and replaced with the phrase, "the one we do not mention." A public apology, handwritten on a parchment, minimum 3,000 words, explaining why sparkling is an embarrassment to the species, to be read aloud at the next council meeting. Part 5. SPF classification and permitted usage conditions. Article 14. Regulations for SPF 15 products. Sunscreen products with a sun protection factor of 15 are classified as minimal protection grade. Estimated protection duration: 15 minutes before onset of light smoke. Permitted usage conditions: heavy cloud cover only. Minimum 80% sky obstruction. Maximum application quantity: 2 milliliters per 10 square centimeters of exposed skin. Reapplication frequency: every 10 minutes. Required permit: Form SPF 15A. Permit fee: 3 silver coins and 1 vial of innocent tears. Tears collected while watching sad films are acceptable substitutes. Article 15. Regulations for SPF 20 products. Sunscreen products with a sun protection factor of 20 are classified as low protection grade. Estimated protection duration: 20 minutes before onset of light smoke. Permitted usage conditions: heavy cloud cover only. Minimum 75% sky obstruction. Maximum application quantity: 2 milliliters per 10 square centimeters of exposed skin. Reapplication frequency: every 12 minutes. Required permit: Form SPF 20A. Permit fee: 3 silver coins and 1 vial of innocent tears. Article 16. Regulations for SPF 25 products. Sunscreen products with a sun protection factor of 25 are classified as low-medium protection grade. Estimated protection duration: 25 minutes before onset of light smoke. Permitted usage conditions: heavy cloud cover only. Minimum 70% sky obstruction. Maximum application quantity: 2.5 milliliters per 10 square centimeters of exposed skin. Reapplication frequency: every 15 minutes. Required permit: Form SPF 25A. Permit fee: 4 silver coins and 1 vial of innocent tears. Article 17. Regulations for SPF 30 products. Sunscreen products with a sun protection factor of 30 are classified as medium protection grade. Estimated protection duration: 30 minutes before onset of light smoke. Permitted usage conditions: substantial cloud cover. Minimum 65% sky obstruction. Maximum application quantity: 2.5 milliliters per 10 square centimeters of exposed skin. Reapplication frequency: every 18 minutes. Required permit: Form SPF 30A. Permit fee: 4 silver coins and 1 vial of innocent tears. Article 18. Regulations for SPF 35 products. Permitted usage conditions: substantial cloud cover. Minimum 60% sky obstruction. Maximum application quantity: 3 milliliters per 10 square centimeters of exposed skin. Reapplication frequency: every 20 minutes. Required permit: Form SPF 35A. Permit fee: 5 silver coins and 1 vial of innocent tears. Article 19. Regulations for SPF 40 products. Sunscreen products with a sun protection factor of 40 are classified as high protection grade. Estimated protection duration: 40 minutes before onset of light smoke. Permitted usage conditions: moderate cloud cover. Minimum 55% sky obstruction. Maximum application quantity: 3 milliliters per 10 square centimeters of exposed skin. Reapplication frequency: every 22 minutes. Required permit: Form SPF 40A. Permit fee: 5 silver coins and 1 vial of innocent tears. Article 20. Regulations for SPF 45 products. Sunscreen products with a sun protection factor of 45 are classified as high protection grade. Estimated protection duration: 45 minutes before onset of light smoke. Permitted usage conditions: moderate cloud cover. Minimum 50% sky obstruction. Maximum application quantity: 3.5 milliliters per 10 square centimeters of exposed skin. Reapplication frequency: every 25 minutes. Required permit: Form SPF 45A. Permit fee: 6 silver coins and 1 vial of innocent tears. Article 21. Regulations for SPF 50 products. Sunscreen products with a sun protection factor of 50 are classified as very high protection grade. Estimated protection duration: 50 minutes before onset of light smoke. Permitted usage conditions: partial cloud cover. Minimum 45% sky obstruction. Maximum application quantity: 3.5 milliliters per 10 square centimeters of exposed skin. Reapplication frequency: every 28 minutes. Required permit. Form SPF 50A. Permit fee, 6 silver coins and 1 vial of innocent tears. Article 22. Regulations for SPF 50+ products. Sunscreen products with a sun protection factor exceeding 50 are classified as maximum protection grade. Estimated protection duration: 60 minutes before onset of light smoke. Permitted usage conditions: light cloud cover acceptable. Minimum 35% sky obstruction. Maximum application quantity: 4 milliliters per 10 square centimeters of exposed skin. Reapplication frequency: every 30 minutes. Required permit. Form SPF 50+A. Special category. Permit fee: 8 silver coins, 1 vial of innocent tears, and a written essay explaining why you need this level of protection. Part 6. Regional Regulations. Article 23. Regulations for Northern Europe. The use of sunscreen in Northern European territories shall comply with the following provisions. During winter months, when the polar night phenomenon occurs, sunscreen use is unrestricted in Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Iceland. However, vampires must register with local authorities before entering these territories. During summer months, when the midnight sun phenomenon occurs, sunscreen use is prohibited entirely because, frankly, it won't help anyway. Regional permit fee: 7 silver coins and 1 salted herring. Article 24. Regulations for the Mediterranean region. The use of sunscreen in Mediterranean territories shall comply with the following provisions. Minimum SPF requirement: 50, due to high solar intensity. Permitted outdoor hours: 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. only. Prohibited activities: visiting historical ruins during daytime, regardless of their significance to vampire history. Regional permit fee: 8 silver coins and 1 bottle of olive oil. Article 25. Regulations for North America. The use of sunscreen in North American territories shall comply with the following provisions. East Coast. Standard regulations apply, with additional restrictions during summer months in Florida. West Coast. Enhanced SPF requirements in Southern California and Arizona, due to extreme solar conditions. Pacific Northwest. Relaxed regulations permitted due to frequent cloud cover, though vampires are warned that the sun does occasionally appear without warning. Regional permit fee: 6 silver coins, payable in quarters if preferred. Article 26. Regulations for Australia. The use of sunscreen in Australian territories shall comply with the following provisions. The Council strongly advises all vampires to simply not go to Australia. In cases of unavoidable travel, SPF 50+ is the minimum acceptable standard. Outdoor activities are restricted to the hours between 5 a.m. and 5:30 a.m. All exposed skin must be covered with a minimum of 3 layers of protection. Regional permit fee: 15 silver coins, and a signed waiver acknowledging that the ministry accepts no responsibility for what happens. Article 27. Regulations for the United Kingdom. The use of sunscreen in United Kingdom territories shall comply with the following provisions. Standard regulations apply, though vampires may find them largely unnecessary given prevailing weather conditions. During the rare occurrence of sunshine, vampires are advised to remain indoors and wait for normal conditions to resume, typically within 20 minutes. Regional permit fee. 5 silver coins and a formal apology for any inconvenience caused to the processing clerk. Article 28. Regulations for equatorial regions. The use of sunscreen in equatorial territories shall comply with the following provisions. The Council strongly advises vampires to reconsider any travel plans to equatorial regions. In cases of absolutely unavoidable presence, sunscreen must be applied in layers no less than 5 millimeters thick. A heat-reflective overgarment must be worn at all times. Outdoor exposure is limited to a maximum of 15 minutes per 24-hour period. Regional permit fee. 20 silver coins and a notarized last will and testament. Part 7. Chemical Composition Standards. Article 29. Approved ingredients. Sunscreen products intended for vampire use may contain only the following ingredients. Titanium dioxide at concentrations between 2% and 25%. Zinc oxide at concentrations between 2% and 25%. Water that has been triple distilled under a full moon. Garlic extract at a concentration of 0%, meaning no garlic whatsoever. Artificial fragrances from the approved fragrance list. Aloe vera, but only from plants that have been verified as non-sentient. Article 30. Prohibited ingredients. Sunscreen products intended for vampire use may not contain the following ingredients. Garlic in any form, including garlic fragrance, garlic powder, garlic oil, garlic extract, just a hint of garlic, or anything that has been stored near garlic, holy water, including diluted holy water, expired holy water, water that was once blessed but has since been deconsecrated, or water from any container that has touched holy water. Silver in any form, including silver nanoparticles, colloidal silver, or silver-infused formulas. Extract of mistletoe, extract of oak wood, extract of any wood that could potentially be whittled into a steak, essence of sunrise, anything described as bringing the sunshine to your skin. Article 31. Titanium dioxide concentration requirements. The concentration of titanium dioxide in sunscreen products shall correspond to weather conditions as follows. 2% concentration. Suitable for very heavy cloud cover. 95% or greater sky obstruction. 3% concentration. Suitable for very heavy cloud cover. 93% or greater sky obstruction. 4% concentration. Suitable for very heavy cloud cover. 91% or greater sky obstruction. 5% concentration, suitable for very heavy cloud cover. 89% or greater sky obstruction. 6% concentration, suitable for heavy cloud cover. 87% or greater sky obstruction. 7% concentration, suitable for heavy cloud cover. 85% or greater sky obstruction. 8% concentration, suitable for heavy cloud cover. 83% or greater sky obstruction. 9% concentration, suitable for heavy cloud cover. 81% or greater sky obstruction. 10% concentration, suitable for heavy cloud cover. 79% or greater sky obstruction. 11% concentration, suitable for heavy cloud cover. 77% or greater sky obstruction. 12% concentration, suitable for substantial cloud cover. Suitable for substantial cloud cover. 73% or greater sky obstruction. 14% concentration, suitable for substantial cloud cover. 71% or greater sky obstruction. 15% concentration, suitable for substantial cloud cover. 69% or greater sky obstruction. 16% concentration, suitable for moderate cloud cover. 67% or greater sky obstruction. 17% concentration, suitable for moderate cloud cover. 65% or greater sky obstruction. 18% concentration, suitable for moderate cloud cover. 63% or greater sky obstruction. 19% concentration, suitable for moderate cloud cover. 61% or greater sky obstruction. 20% concentration, suitable for moderate cloud cover. 59% or greater sky obstruction. 21% concentration, suitable for partial cloud cover. 57% or greater sky obstruction. 22% concentration, suitable for partial cloud cover. 55% or greater sky obstruction. 23% concentration, suitable for partial cloud cover. 53% or greater sky obstruction. 24% concentration, suitable for partial cloud cover. 51% or greater sky obstruction. 25% concentration, suitable for partial cloud cover. 49% or greater sky obstruction. This is the maximum concentration permitted under current regulations. Part 8. Packaging and Labeling Requirements. Article 32. Packaging Standards. Packaging for vampire-approved sunscreen products must meet the following requirements. Color. Only black, deep burgundy, or midnight purple are acceptable. Yellow, orange, bright pink, or any color reminiscent of sunshine, beaches, or happiness is prohibited. Material. Must be completely opaque and light blocking. Transparent or semi-transparent packaging is prohibited. Shape. Must not be circular or sun-shaped. Acceptable shapes include rectangular, square, coffin-shaped miniature, bat-shaped, or tastefully Gothic. Closure must include a secure cap or lid that can be operated in complete darkness by someone with long fingernails. Article 33. Labeling requirements. Labels on vampire-approved sunscreen products must include the following information: product name in Gothic font or an approved equivalent typeface. SPF rating displayed clearly and prominently. Warning text reading: for vampire use only. Humans using this product may experience side effects including unexplained pallor, sudden garlic aversion, and an inexplicable desire to sleep during the day. Expiration date in both shadow calendar and standard human calendar formats. Barcode scannable by vampire eyes in complete darkness. A small but legible disclaimer stating, the manufacturer accepts no responsibility for combustion, smoldering, or ash-related outcomes resulting from misuse, overconfidence, or an unrealistic belief in the power of sunscreen. Part 9. Distribution and Retail Regulations. Article 34. Authorized retail locations. Vampire-approved sunscreen products may only be sold at the following types of establishments: licensed nocturnal pharmacies operating between 8 p.m. and 5 a.m. Authorized 24-hour convenience stores, provided they maintain a dedicated section for vampire products, located at least 10 meters from any garlic-containing products, including garlic bread, garlic butter, and garlic-flavored chips. Approved e-commerce platforms with guaranteed nighttime delivery. Packages left on doorsteps during daylight hours are the customer's problem. Article 35. Sales personnel requirements. Personnel selling sunscreen products to vampires must meet the following qualifications: completion of a 40-hour training course titled Serving the Immortal Customer. Ability to work night shifts without complaint. No visible religious symbols or iconography during working hours. No garlic consumption within 48 hours prior to a shift. Completion of sensitivity training covering appropriate and inappropriate questions. Examples of inappropriate questions include, are you really a vampire? Can you turn into a bat right now? Do you know Dracula personally? And have you seen Twilight? Part 10. Implementation Provisions. Article 36. Effective date. This directive shall take effect on the first full moon following its ratification by the Supreme Council. All previous regulations concerning sunscreen management are hereby repealed, including Decree 127 of year 1523 concerning the prohibition of lard-based sun protection. Circular 89 of year 1756 permitting the use of mud as a temporary skin covering. Resolution 234 of year 1892 recommending that vampires simply stay indoors forever. Memorandum 445 of year 1953, expressing the Council's disappointment about vampires attempting to attend drive-in movie theaters during matinee showings. Article 37. Enforcement responsibility. The Supreme Council, the Bureau of Nocturnal Affairs, and all relevant subsidiary agencies shall be responsible for implementing and enforcing this directive. Vampires in violation shall be penalized according to Part 4 of this directive. Humans knowingly assisting vampires in violating this directive shall receive a verbal warning for the first offense, a written warning for the second offense, and a nighttime visit for the third offense. The nature of this visit is deliberately left unspecified. This concludes tonight's reading of Directive Number 733, MOS, VSR, concerning the regulation and controlled use of sunscreen products within the vampire community. Tomorrow evening, we shall continue with Appendix A, a comprehensive catalog of all 847 Council-approved sunscreen brands, arranged alphabetically, including detailed assessments of texture, scent, greasiness factor, and likelihood of leaving a visible white cast on pale undead skin. On behalf of the Ministry of Sleep, we thank you for your attention to these important matters. May your coffin be comfortable, your crypt be quiet, and your dreams be undisturbed by thoughts of the sun. Good night.